Hello everyone, and I know it's been a minute since the last video. I ran into a couple of complications with the Vic. Started off with bad gas, and then the catalytic converters were actually clogged. So I had to remove them because I didn't know which side was clogged on the car. And fortunately, after I removed them, made my downpipe and everything from the manifold, I also ran into some other issues, which since I ain't got no cats, check engine light comes on. I actually need to go ahead and get that taken care of. Trying to find someone that can actually delete the O2 sensors from the ECM. But right now we're back at it. But behind the scenes, while I was having trouble with that, I've been working on a 2008 Tahoe ready for paint. A customer came up to me and asked me if I could do a color change. They had a couple of dings on the truck, so this is what I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. But today, this video is based on the throttle body. I'm gonna show you 3 different throttle bodies. Of course, the existing throttle body for the Crown Vic. Then I'm gonna show you a E150 throttle body that actually will go on the Crown Vic. And I also have a Mustang GT throttle body that seems that will work on your Crown Vic. So the GT throttle body is a 75 millimeter. The E150 is a 70 millimeter. And of course, your Crown Vic throttle body is 65 millimeter. I'm gonna go ahead and show you what I'm talking about. Of course, this one was on the Crown Vic. This is your 65 millimeter. This nasty looking one is from an E150. It's actually a van. I got this from the junkyard. This is your GT Mustang throttle body. I purchased this out of Amazon. All right. If you look, they all got different size mouths on their throttle flap. Okay. Right here, that's where your throttle position sensor location. If you see, the GT is a slight angle versus the E150 and the Crown Victoria. Okay. Now let's look at the way the cables will run. If you look here, the spring loaded connection is actually in the same spot at the bottom. The cable will run down through here and connect as so. It'll run down, connect, all 3 of them the same way. Your cruise control cable will connect up on top. So the throttle bodies are similar as far as connecting and bolting on to your Crown Vic. Now, I'm gonna try the 75 on the Crown Vic. I'm gonna put the throttle position sensor, connect it, and see how that works. What I did was I took the throttle body apart. Basically, I took the side where all the cables and spring and cruise control cable connects. I removed it because of that piece right there where the cable actually runs through the throttle cable, the Crown Victoria cable will not fit on this one, simply because the hole is smaller and it's made for the 96 Mustang. But here's your fix. You could take a 1/4-inch drill, pre-drill, and then turn around and step up to a 7/64 drill bit and drill it out so your cable on your Crown Vic can actually fit now. The purpose of me swapping out throttle bodies is so I could get more air into the intake and supposedly better throttle response. We're about to find out if this is true. Okay, when I installed the cruise control cable, it would not reach to the throttle body. The reason why is because the spacer is too thick. It's 1 inch wider, and it extends the position of the throttle body 1 inch further away from the actual cruise control cable. So this is what I did. Right here, I actually placed the cruise control, I set it, I placed the spot where the bracket goes, I placed it on there, and I rubbed the clip on the spot where the bracket will hold the cruise control cable in place. I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate that for you. All right. It should come out now, but heck, I don't know. All right, there it is. Okay, so what I did, this is what I did. I relaxed the cable and I placed the cable in. I took this clip and I put it in the slot and I rubbed it up and down until it set a mark inside this plastic tubing. Okay? Once it did that, I removed it and I actually took this off. Okay? There's a groove set right here. I actually took a pipe cutter and placed the blade where the groove was at, and I actually turned it several times without cutting through the plastic piece. Stay with me. Now, if you look at the clip only has to U-shape. Okay, so it kind of inserts top and bottom. I took a Sawzall blade, I cut a groove on the top, I just sawed it until I got a groove, and then I did the same thing at the bottom. Once I got that groove established, I placed the cruise control cable in, and I found where the groove is at, and I push the clip and it stays in place. There it goes. All right, so now I should have cruise control working now. If you ever run into this problem because you have a spacer, that's your fix for it. It took me a minute to realize it and how to figure it out, but when I finally did, I'm actually sharing it with you guys. The next thing was you have to set was your throttle screw right here on top. You're gonna have to undo the nut here and then adjust your throttle. I got it just barely touching, and there's still some slack on my cable, which that's great. You don't want it too tight, because what it'll do is your RPMs will go and get jacked up from the actual settings that it's supposed to be at 850 RPMs. You don't want to move it from there, which of course not all Crown Vics got a tachometer inside the car where it'll tell you the RPMs, so you basically have to do it by ear, which you'll know if you're too high or too low. All right, and that's pretty much it. This is a 75mm throttle body from a Mustang GT. You can actually install it on your Crown Vic. You don't have to worry about using that 65mm. I already did a test drive. It's smoother on takeoff and it's smoother on your throttle response. I do feel the difference. As far as fuel, it's not going to save you any fuel, of course, because now you're adding performance to your vehicle. But as far as everything else goes, what you're looking for, a 75mm is the way to go. I will put the item number from Amazon down at the bottom of the description, so that way you guys could go and check it out. Like I said, it was a little under 50 bucks that I bought this. I did get 70mm from the junkyard, which was from a E150, a Ford van. It was like 40 bucks. You'll probably find them fairly cheap too. But you could either go with the E150, a 70mm, or you could go with the GT Mustang 75mm throttle body. All right, real quick. The GT throttle body worked fine. The only hiccups I had was that I had to drill out for the cable body, the throttle cable, and of course with the spacer, you'll have trouble trying to connect your cruise control cable as well. But I gave you the solution. I hope this works out for you guys. Those that want their cruise control and want a 75mm throttle body, this is it. This is how you do it. Once again, this is in my garage.